driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor, week 35 on the 2022-2023 PGA Tour, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Maybe a little bit of a letdown spot. Very, very busy month for me coming up. So sorry for a little delay here getting this out this week. I was on the road all day yesterday. So getting this out around lunchtime on Tuesday, still plenty of time to get things in. Last week, Maine was definitely tough for me. Siwoo got me, let me down. Kind of using the PM AM as some tiebreakers hurt. You know, I wasn't strong on any wave, and I said that Wednesday night on E9, and really didn't change it. I just said if I was going to use a tiebreaker for wave advantage, it would be that. You know, got me on Rahm instead of Cantley. Several others that were like that. Once again, if you go to the Final Thoughts article, my next up that I created about a month ago, several good guys in there, a lot of them being AM PM. So really putting in some thought on the whole weather deal. And I've taken a lot of data this year. I'm going to go back and look, and I just don't know. It's going to have to be a major, like clear-cut, huge advantage for main slate for me to really go one way or the other. I think with potential delays, with potential how they set up the course, et cetera, I don't know that I'm going to get off guys as much as I have been, because I got off quite a few last week or made them second tier. So they weren't really in the core. They were in the MMEs and stuff like that, but not as much exposure. Where I'll play weather all day long in Showdown. I've been doing that since I started, content in Showdown 2018 before anybody else did, contrary to popular belief. But main slate, man, it's burned me way more than and I think in our heads, we think about TPC, we think about San Antonio, many years ago. There are dramatic. The Open, I do think there could be, some there. The Open's a little bit different because of the way they go out and in long time periods. When it's a clear cut split, all go out in the morning, then they flip PM AM. It really will have to be a big advantage main slate for me to really factor it in more than I have been. I think I'll downgrade it a little bit more moving forward, because it just gets me off plays that I, especially on the top end guys. I'm not going to let it factor as much. But luckily for the second week in a row, Smash Showdown once again. Sunday did well, made over 7K in profit. So we move on. Betting, the last tally I had, we were 3-1 on matchups. I haven't caught all that up. I'll have it all caught up for tomorrow. Brutal week with Had Keegan, first round leader, 80-1. He gets done in the morning. I thought worst case, shooting 8 under, he was going to maybe get a dead heat type deal. Did not see him losing. And not only did he lose, he lost to a 10 under. So that hurt. And then he goes around and wins it. And I didn't have him as outright, only first round leader. So kind of double-edged sword there that didn't go well. But we move on. If you want to join right now, links in the description, includes a 7-day risk-free trial. We're approaching closer and closer to football season. We still have the Open, the last major of the year, plus a full slate of FedEx Cup events, so plenty of golf to get in on, and we slowly start rolling out college football and NFL stuff. The best college football site and community in the industry, I believe that, bar none. So come check us out if you like you now, and does include that 7-day risk-free trial. Listener League, link is in the description. I think we're almost half full, which is great. They got it out earlier. Last week we struggled. I'm really going to look at the performance of the Listener League between now and the end of this season to decide if I want to do it next year. I just, there's so much going on that I don't, if we can't fill it that quick, it's not that, it's for the community more than anything, then I may just bow out of it for the next season. We'll see how it fills up moving forward. Last week's winner swept the board, used the same lineup, So he got first, second, and third, 638.5, and I think he won by like 30 points. Solid lineup: Fowler, Fitz, Matsu, Henley, Bradley, McCarthy. So a lot of those guys on the weekend moved up the board for him. Solid lineup. When you beat the field by that much, that's always great. I will send him the link for the Lister League Tournament of Champions as well. Of course, we had Detroit Golf Club, par 72, 7,300, 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s. Pretty forgiving off the tee. Length will help, but it's not the only way to get around here. Short guys can contend. I wouldn't just narrow it down to good drives, great drives, long distance, anything like that. I think strong approach, opportunities at 18 feet is something I'm looking at a lot this week on our site. Bent greens is mainly what I'm focusing on. I think it has a little bit of pull, but similar to last week, I'm only going to focus on bent when it comes to the stats. It's going to be a birdie fest. We know that. It's going to be scoring. A lot of, potential for under 70 round bonuses, bogey free, things like that, which can be good and bad at times. This is obviously the birth of Doc of the Week. We had Doc that week in 2019, the first year, I believe, of this tournament. He finished second, but that was the year that Lashley won. And at that point, DK was not really adding anybody after Monday. And so he got in. I can't remember if he Monday queued or was an alternate, but they didn't add him to the pool. And they really weren't doing that back then anyways. And so Doc, essentially was the highest scoring player in DraftKings that week. He was like 1% owned. I liked him. He's kind of that profile that I tend to go to, kind of a stud background out of college. And we cleaned up. Just the community just absolutely, and they created the Doc of the Week now that we've had really good success on this year. As a whole, our best year is Doc of the Week's plays that I put out Tuesday night and will so tonight as well. Weather looks nice. Warm, round 1, round 2, no real issues. I don't really see a wind or any advantage like that. Some chance of scattered showers Saturday and Sunday, a little bit cooler, but nothing crazy. I don't think it's going to be a huge factor at all. Cut, you're probably looking at -3, -4. Winter, probably -21, 22, somewhere in that range. Last year, Finau won 26 under, but he won by 5 strokes over Cantley, Pendrith, and Cam Young. We did crush here last year. Always like reviewing, and I had Cam Young, Cantley, and Finau. I think and Pendrith were all in my top 10 initial rankings. Wound up making the pool, stuff like that. So good year last year. 2 years ago, Cam Davis won it. I believe we had the outright on that. 3 years ago, Bryson won it. We had the outright on Bryson and Wolf. Bryson wound up winning by 3 strokes. And then, of course, 4 years ago, Doc comes in second. Lashley wins it. But the winning score is 26, 18, 23, 25. One thing I will note, Finau wins by 5 strokes at 26. Bryson wins by 3 strokes at 23. Lashley wins by 6 strokes at 25. So you could see like an 18, 19 under type win it because Cam Davis won at 18 under. That was a playoff. So second place the year Lashley won at Doc, he shot 19 under. Last year, those 3 shot 21 under. So, similar to last week, we saw high teens, low 20s. So kind of that kind of setup DK-wise. Stats I'm looking at, good drives, great drives, good approach, opportunities inside 18 feet, birdie or better, and par 5 DK scoring. Ranges, 10K, we have 5 guys. 9K, we have 5 guys. Sorry, let me click over here. 8K, we have 10 guys. 7K, we have 41 guys. 6K, we have 94 guys. So 135 guys, 7,900 or less, only 20, 8K and above. So definitely got to get that right this week. 9K and above, guys I like. I'm going to go with Matsu, 9,600. Probably will be popular, but I think I'll have enough kind of thinning out up top or guys I'm going to be off of that I can eat some chalk. We'll see how that goes for the next, 36 hours or so. But 13th, 21st, and then a withdrawal. I do have it noted to go see what happened that year. I'll do all that in the deep dive tonight. I'll be out the rest of the day with work and then come back around tonight, be a late night, getting everything caught back up. I did tell the premium members last night, I will have everything caught up tonight before I go to bed, just like any other week. So through Tuesday night, everything will be out. Coming in great form, hitting the ball as good as anybody, tee to green, especially ball striking. where I'm going to decide is, and I'll get to it later with JT and Fowler, is I'm just going to take chances on where I want to. Basically, I think Matsu, maybe M, Kim, JT, Fowler, those 5, I think could garnish quite a bit of ownership, and maybe I play 3 of the 5 and cut 2 out, avoid that chalk. Finau, I don't like the form he's coming in, but I think that will press his ownership down, and maybe he's a good GPP play. We'll get there in a little bit. So I do like Matsu. I do like Sungjae. We saw the form a little bit come back last week after really struggling. He finished 29th with just a so-so late Saturday, Sunday. Made the cut all 3 years here, including an 8th and a 21st. Enough there. If he's super high owned, I don't mind cutting him out, and maybe I add in the other of Fowler or JT that I was going to fade. We'll kind of see how all that plays out. I think these 20 in general, let's go 14 in general, 15 in general, because the AK is always going to kind of have some lower owned. We'll be pretty owned in general, and then everybody spreads out down low is how I think it'll play out. And we'll just see who comes to the top as the highest owned. Listening to all the stuff. I'll be driving a lot today, so I'll listen to a bunch of podcasts, stuff like that, do my reading like I normally do on Tuesday night. Tom Kim, for sure like him. First year here last year, got a 7th, 8th at the U.S. Open, 38th at Travelers, 9th in good drives, and then just kind of right there, average 28th, 22nd, 47th, 37th. If he can get a good putter, obviously he putted well here last year, or putted decent enough here last year that I don't mind going to Tom Kim. My bubble boy is Cam Davis, and that's really just to see where people go to. Thought I was going to be really mad at myself because he was one of the last guys I was going back and forth with Sunday. I wrote him up in the round 4 article and said, hey, we know he can get out early and get birdies and bunches. And he did. And the guy that I kind of moving back and forth, Luke List was right there. And then, oh man, who was the other one? There was another guy, and the other guy's the one that I wound up going with. And I kept List. List starts +1 through 4, and I'm like, what the heck? He winds up getting 10 birdies. So that worked out, and I'm winning the 555 on Sunday with like 3 holes left. And it just kept going back first, second, second, third, second, fourth. JT misses a 7-footer on 17. If he makes that, regardless of what else happened, I would have won the 555. Keegan, I needed him to bogey 18. I still would have got second. He parred it, bumped me down to 4th. So, but Davis, he did well. I like the way he finished. He's done well here. He did miss cut the first few years, but then a 1st and a 14th. I do like him, and I probably would play him. He's going to be in that bunch of where the 5 or 6 guys in the 9K range. What I said, we got up there 10. I probably fade 4 of the 10 for sure, maybe 5 of the 10. And he's one that the volatility a little bit, really didn't have that great of recent form coming in until last week, finished strong. Wasn't looking great going into Sunday, but we just know he can score. And at this type of place, I do like guys that can score, but with this price tag, he's going to have to score and still be up there in that top 15 type finish. Maybe he's 16th, but scores 8th. That is on my mind. I just don't want him to be the most popular. I can easily fade that, but I do like him this week. AK range, Jaeger. Could see him getting a little overlooked. Played him last week, made the cut, didn't do anything crazy. Stat-wise, he looks great. 18th in good drives, 23rd in opportunities, or good approach, 33rd in opportunities at 18 feet, 21st in birdie or better, 5th here last year. Decent form coming in. He's 18th in the field in recent form, course fit, 7th. I like a lot of them this week. Hopefully he gets kind of overlooked in that 8,900 may scare some people away. I don't mind him at all this week. Chris Kirk, a little bit of mid-chalk I probably don't mind eating. He's not coming in with the best form, 2 missed cuts, but he has good history here, 21st, 12th, and 17th. You got to like that. He's 31st in the putting. Stats, he's 35th overall, 19th in the opportunity side, 18 feet. He's kind of one of those guys that his stats just look average, good, and then you see the course history, like, well, he likes the place. Just how owned does he get? He's a guy that he gets kind of talked up. I could fade him and then place him with a 9K chalk that I may like a little better overall. Benny on 8,200. This game overall just continues to get better this year. He did miss cut last week, but 24th at Memorial. He's 3rd in good approach, 30th in good drive, 24th in opportunities. It really just comes down to putting. He has a 13th here and a 76. So I got him starred to look at tonight. How did he putt here those 2 years? Was that the difference in his ranking? How did he score? Kind because if all that's, where I think it could be, I don't mind playing him. I don't think he'll be too high owned at 8,200, just because of other people around him and where I think naturally the builds may go this week. Aberg, only reason why he's a bubble boy is just chalky, right? He could be super chalk for the 8K range. 24th at Travelers, 25th at RBC, third in par 5 DK scoring, fourth in good drives, 21st in good approach. I mean, everything's there. We know the talent is there. It's just how owned does he get, and where do we want to be different this week? Do I take a chance on a young guy, which I've done in the past? We were one of the first on Cam Young. We were very early on Willie Z. All those kind of guys. Is this a guy we just want to eat and eat the chalk and go on it, or do we pivot and want to eat it somewhere? I think this week's really just going to come down to a lot of it. Where do you want to cut the chalk out, and where do you want to be overweight and then spread out everywhere else? We'll see how that comes with him. Maybe 8,700, people go, all right, man, he's good, but I hadn't seen enough. I'll back off that. And then we get overweight on him and hope he comes through. We'll see how it works out. 7K range, Carson Young. That's what it was. It was Carson Young Sunday. I was kind of choosing between Carson Young and Cam Davis. Young wound up having a very good day as well. Had some bogeys in there, but tons of birdies. Definitely going back to him. Been playing him a lot lately. 15th last week, 43rd at RBC, second in birdie or better, 9th in par 5 DK scoring, 13th in putting. I like him a lot this week. 7K seems too cheap. Brandon Wu, he was a guy that hurt me in the 3 max last week. I'll go back to him. Just pure talent play for me. Going to continue to go there. 9th in opportunities, 9th in birdie or better, 14th in good approach, 9th at RBC, 30th here last year, 15th in stats overall. Just enough there in his talent level, I think. I'll go back to him at 7,500. Dylan Wu, played him last week, missed cut here last year, but 25th at RBC, 32nd at the U.S. Open. Stat-wise, he ranks out 9th for me overall. 13th in good approach, 13th in birdie or better, 12th in par 5 DK scoring, 34th in good drives, 27th in putting. Profile is there. 7K, certainly willing to take risk on that. Or 7,900. Nope, 7K, sorry. Certainly willing to take risk there. Taylor Moore, we played him a lot early in the year. Still played him here or there. Maybe goes under the radar this week a little bit. Hadn't been playing great, but when you look at some of the easier contests, plus he got a 6th here last year. Stats, he's 35th. Recent form, 27th. 3rd in course fit and 10th in putting. So this kind of spot where I do want someone that can putt really well, he's got 13th in good drive. So, his irons are kind of the deal. Can he hit enough greens to give him a chance? I do like that he got 6th there last year. So he's on the radar. Bubble boy because of some of the, black eyes there that maybe we need to dig into and see if we want to trust it. But I think his ownership will be low enough. He certainly could make a GPP pool. I don't know if he makes the core or not. 6K range, not really excited about this, which is why I like a lot of living in that 8 and 9K range and maybe being light on the 5 up top this week. Novak, 6,900. We know he can get hot with the putter. I don't mind going there. Jimmy Walker, another guy that's been showing flashes this year, and we know he can get hot with the putter and probably would need it this week because the stats are just going to be okay. He is 12th in good approach and 15th in par 5 DK scoring in the field. He's made 2 or 3 cuts here, a 21st and a 71st. So I like that. 6,600, veteran. I don't mind that at all. Sig, I'll go back to him. Played him a lot in Showdown a lot last week. More of a talent play than anything else. But 6,700, I like that. 19th last week, 38th at RBC. Putter shows up. He could be there. Did miss a cut here last year, but a guy. Bubble boy is Doc, actually. Probably play him. I just needed someone to be the bubble boy. Gonna just rate out okay, but his history here is, good. 3 out of 4 made cuts, a 2nd, a 21st, and a 57th. Only 1 missed cut, as I said. His stats are just going to be okay, actually probably a little below it, right about average to the field. You're just playing kind of more of a course history type play. Can he get hot? He tends to have really good round. He may be a good showdown play here if he starts making the weekend, and maybe he's back a little bit because we know he can get hot here. And in general, he can have good showdown rounds, but not contend. But at 6,800, a made cut with he's got 2 top 21 or betters here in 4 years. That'll pay off at 6,800. So he's on the list for me as a potential play. Fade of the week, Morikawa for sure. And then I probably, depending on how things shake out, will fade one of JT or Fowler. Like I mentioned earlier, though, if like a lot of people are thinking the 9Ks is a money spot, maybe I fade Matsu or Sungjae and I play both JT and Fowler. I really do think JT and Fowler will be high owned. I'm not super high on Max, but I could get there if he's getting squeezed by those two. Same with Finau. Maybe I go Finau, Homa, play my 9K guys, and then fade the super chalky JT and Fowler. Fowler okay here. Definitely wasn't playing as good as he is right now, but 3 made cuts, a 46, a 12th, a 32nd, and a miscut. JT's never played here. Probably playing here, trying to get a little more FedEx points to get inside that top 70 to make the playoffs. So we'll see I'm definitely fading Morikawa. I'd rather play Homa if I was going to go up there. He's got okay finishes here. 42nd, 25th, 24th, 4th in the field in putting, 7th in great drives, 10th birdie or better. He ranks out 4th overall for me. So I think he probably gets squeezed a little bit between JT and Fowler. Not a big Homa guy, but definitely a good spot we could go to him this week. Sleeper of the week, I'm going to go back to Kevin Yu. Played him in some showdown. A little bit, I mentioned, I think last week, a little bit worried about coming back off the injury and all that. Did okay. I think round 3 was his worst day. Finished 49th. These stats do go back, but he's 7th in good drives, 8th in opportunities, 6th in birdie or better, and 5th in par 5 DK scoring. Enough for me at 7K flat to put him in the, as a sleeper, and I don't think he really gets ownership. Maybe 5%. Svensson, gut feel plays of the week. I like Svensson. Up and down, can get hot with the putter. Definitely roller coaster coming in here. Miscut, 60th miscut. He did finish 24th here last year, so I like that. Adam Schenk, another guy, can get hot with the putter. A 7th at Memorial, but back-to-back miscuts. He has 3 of 4 made cuts here, a 42nd, a 30th, and a 41st. Hadwin, 8,100. Famous for the tackle at the RBC now, but a 4th and a 37th here in the middle. He missed the cut at Memorial, then 12th, 59th. I don't think he pops out anywhere, and I kind of just think 8,100, probably one of those low-owned 8K guys we get every week. I don't mind playing him. SH Kim, a guy I just continuously play. I should probably bet him. I'd bet him a lot of weeks FOMO anyways, but 41st at Memorial, 25th at RBC, did miss a cut last week. Probably do a little bit of deep dive on how he plays on easier courses to make sure I think that's his deal, because I kind of have in my mind he's more of a grinder. But gut feel play, 7,100. He's on my list to take a look at for sure. Betting top 5 that pop and 2 long shots provided by Underdog and Prize Picks. Use the code GUP, dollar for dollar match up to $100. They just launched the FedEx Cup best ball for PGA. We had it. That's where they kind of debuted their best ball for PGA last year. Loved it. Did good in it. Most people weren't really even dialed in. I like it a lot. I'll probably put some stuff out for it. They certainly have their $15 million pot NFL up if you want to get started on that. But I do like the FedEx one. This year's going to be a little bit, probably, I wouldn't say easier, but a little bit better, because so you draft your whole team, and that's your team for all 3 rounds of the FedEx Cup. Where last year was, what was it, 125 to 70 to 30 or whatever it was. This year, 70, I think it's 70, 50, 30 or something like that. So probably a little bit easier to get some more through, but definitely something we'll take advantage of and toss around in the Slack. So, and then Prize Picks. I get my Prize Picks out round 1 tomorrow, and then every night I add those to my individual and 3-ball bets for round 2, round 3, round 4. You can use that code, get $100 on both of them, dollar for dollar match. Top 5 for me, I like Brandon Wu, 80, Taylor Moore, 60. That could be the play for me. Just bet him and maybe don't. But I don't think he's going to be high owned, so I don't mind him as a GPP play. Tom Kim, 20. Probably my favorite bet if I go up the board, unless I can get Matsu drifting a little bit. If I can get an 18 to 20 there. Cam Davis, 40. Yeager, 50. Those are ones I got my eye on. 2 long shots. I like Carson Young, 125. Dylan Wu, 150. My one and done top 5 preliminary right now: Matsu, Sungjae, Tom Kim, Cam Davis, and Steven Yeager. I'll have the final thoughts pod out tomorrow afternoon. We get all the final thoughts, all the final rankings, ownership, all that on the site tomorrow night. If you'd like to join us, again, links in the description. Risk-free 7-day trial, leading up to NFL, college football, if you're getting big into college football, we probably were one of the first, if not the first, to put out content, and our Slack is just amazing for college football. So come check us out for that. NFL will be good. Golf, we'll see what the fall looks like. For now, we'll just grind through the Open and the FedEx Cup, and then we'll full focus football and then kind of see how they plan on doing the fall this year. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you then.